What's going on, guys? JP back at you once again, bring you guys another DVD slash Blu-ray slash 4K update. This is a pretty big one. I actually started recording this video and pretty much had it almost done, and then kind of got lazy and didn't finish it, so I was like, let me just restart. I would say there's over 100 titles here for sure. There's actually like 3 Kino sales worth of titles here. That's how long it's been since I've done an update. And a couple of Vinegar Syndrome sales as well, or at least one sale. And yeah, so tons and tons and tons of stuff. I got a lot of Kinos here, got a lot of Vincents here, some Scream Factory, little bit of Arrow titles, and some 4Ks, couple box sets, and even some anime, which is weird. But without further ado, let's jump into it with the DVDs. I only have a couple of DVDs here. Don't really buy a lot of DVDs anymore, much like a lot of you guys out there. Kind of mostly only buy Blu-rays and 4Ks these days. I'm not against DVDs, it's just once you're so used to HD and Ultra HD, it's kind of hard to go back to DVDs. We were reviewing something on the podcast recently, and I think it was May. It was like May, Alice Kills. It was like the Psycho Chicks episode. May, Alice Kills, and Excision. And 2 of those I had on DVD. And this is like early 2000s to mid 2000s DVD. And I'm just like, man, this is a bit rough. Anyway, let's jump into the DVDs. Grab these at Big Lots. This is part of the Maneater series. We got Eye of the Beast, which I have not seen. I've only seen a couple of these Maneater films. These are really just like sci-fi channel-esque type of monster movies. Killer animal films. They're, and monsters and stuff. They're pretty bad, but I've always liked this series. I've just been slowly trying to get them all because Big Lots usually carries them, and every time I see one I grab it if I don't have it. This one is Carney with Lou Diamond Phillips, so you know it's going to be fire. Oh wow. This looks great. Not sure whenever I'll actually get around to watching those Maneater films, but I have a handful of them now. One cool thing that Big Lots does have now, you can find there a lot of times, is these tartan titles, these old DVDs from the early 2000s, like the early to mid 2000s rather. You have the booth here. This is Tartan Asian Extreme. This was a cool label. Like whenever this label came out, there really wasn't like an easy way to see a lot of foreign cinema, especially like the Asian stuff. So this was really cool when this label came out and started releasing like tons of Asian cinema to the U.S. And there's actually a Fangoria from like 2005 where they interview the guy who was putting the label together and sort of just like his pitch for it and stuff like that. And it was really neat looking at that. We did a show on 2005 films, so a few of these tartan films were just coming in that wave of 2005 stuff, so that was pretty cool. But it's cool that they carry those. I'm sure. I think Kino might own that label now, or something like that, because you can get them on Kino's website. This label was an interesting one. It didn't really last too long. From Exhilarator, and that is Macabre. And this is Bigfoot: The Lost Coast Tapes. I've heard decent things about this one. I heard it's a pretty good Bigfoot film. I like Bigfoot movies. There's not a ton of great ones out there, but I've always really liked this cover, and I like Bigfoot films, so definitely interested in checking that one out eventually. Of course, the best Bigfoot film of all time, Legend of Boggy Creek. There was another one that came out not too many years ago called like Primal Rage, or like Rage or Primal or something. Forget what it was. I might be confusing multiple movies, but it was pretty good too. Then we have Sand Sharks. Now, I remember this was at Walmart all the time on DVD for like in the $5 bin, and I just never bought it. and I think it went out of print, and it might have came back in print, because I remember seeing when I was like preparing for Shark Week one year, which that's like the only time I'll watch these like bad sci-fi channel shark movies, is during Shark Week. And I was trying to pick this one up because I actually like this movie. It's like pretty solid, and it was like really expensive, so I'm not sure if it's still out of print or if it came back in print, but I found a copy at Big Lots, so that's pretty cool. Brooke Hogan, of course, the daughter of Hulk Hogan. Another Tartan Asia, or actually this is not an Asian film. This is the Hillside Strangler, which I'm not sure if I've ever actually seen this version here of the Hillside Strangler. And it stars C. Thomas Howell. This was back when they were doing like Ed Gein and Ted Bundy and John Wayne Gacy and stuff like that. And then you have the Hillside Strangler. My favorite serial killer film, since we're on the topic, Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer is like pretty awesome, so that's probably my favorite. But one of my other favorites is Dahmer from 2002. I think that movie is fantastic. It's, I think, the best Jeffrey Dahmer movie. But yeah, the Hillside Strangler. Check that out eventually. Just a couple more DVDs here. We got The Barge People. Found this at Dollar Tree for $1.25, because now Dollar Tree is no longer Dollar Tree, it's $1.25 Tree, which makes me upset. Still, $1.25, you can't really beat that. Dollar Trees have been carrying the Shudder films on DVD, which I thought was really cool. So $1.25 for those is like insanely good price. This one, Raven Banner, RLJ Entertainment. I don't know, this one I thought the cover looked kind of fun, so picked it up. I don't get to see a lot of movies at the Dollar Tree like I used to. I used to like have a little like inside source with a family member of Carly's who used to tell us when new titles were coming out, so we'd like get first dibs. But lately I haven't been lucky. Like usually I show up and they've been out for 2 days and I'll pick through. Another one that I got from Dollar Tree. This is an absolute steal. $1.25 for this movie is insane, even if it is DVD. And that is The Nightingale. Fantastic film. Actually, Shout Factory put this one out, which is pretty interesting. But yeah, this is from Jennifer Kent. Of course, we know Jennifer Kent from The Babadook. I actually think this film is better than The Babadook. I think this is a more interesting movie. And this is her second film. Did she do a third film? I can't remember if she did a third film yet. But The Nightingale is fantastic. If you've never seen it, I definitely recommend seeking it out and checking it out. This one came out last year, maybe. It is Spree. And this was actually a pretty fun movie. I kind of talked a little crap on it at first, but after, like, sort of, you know, thinking about it, it was a lot of fun. Basically, this kid, super millennial type movie. This guy is a live streamer, and he also is a spree driver, which is essentially Lyft or Uber. And he records himself like killing his passengers. Pretty fun movie. It's sort of like that found footage-esque like type of film. So I think it's pretty fun. After that, we have Scooby-Doo Holiday Collection. Saw this at Walmart back in December, actually. So that shows you how long it's been since I've done an update. And I was like, man, this is like perfect for the holiday. You know, I love watching Christmas-related stuff, whether it's, you know, episodes of sitcoms or Christmas horror films or just Christmas specials and Christmas-themed episodes of stuff. And Scooby-Doo here, I've always been a big fan. So you got Chill Out Scooby-Doo, which I believe is a film. 13 Spooky Tales, Holiday Chills and Thrills. So I assume there's a handful of episodes that are wintry themed from different versions of Scooby-Doo throughout the year. And then Scooby-Doo Winter Wonder Dog, which I think is another film. So you got 5 hours of content of Scooby-Doo stuff here, holiday themed. Can't go wrong with that. That's like, I like those, you know, type of discs where it's just like perfect for the holiday. You throw it in and it's like 5 hours of different versions of stuff. Like, remember when Roseanne did the Halloween episodes? You could just get the DVD with all the Halloween episodes. That's cool. Of course, I would like to have the whole series too, but if you're just looking for specific stuff like holiday episodes, it's kind of a cool feature to have a disc like that. There's a Beavis and Butthead disc like that, the Halloween disc, which I have too. Okay, that's it for the DVDs. So let's go ahead and get into the Blu-rays. This first bit here is from a Kino sale, the most recent sale. So these are the ones that I picked up most recently. And actually, before we get to that, let's go ahead with these the anime stuff that I teased. Right, not a big anime fan, but I did pick up some anime stuff recently. So this was a pretty cool feature. I've seen this happen at Walmart a few times, but they have this, like, you know, only at Walmart, like, get 3 seasons of a show, or in King of the Hill's case, you got season 1 through 4 for like $30 or something like that. I wish they would do like season 5, 6, 7, 8 for King of the Hill. I haven't seen it yet, but I did end up seeing season 1 through 3 of Dragon Ball Z on Blu-ray, so I did pick that up. We got Vegeta here on season 1, season 2's Goku, and season 3 is Frieza, the best villain in all of Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, I know that there's like a million versions of Dragon Ball Z stuff on disc, none of which I own, but I thought this was a nice, solid, convenient way to grab the first 3 seasons. So I was like, man, awesome. One of my all-time favorite TV shows of all time. I've actually been I opened this and I'm almost done with season 1 there. Man, do I love, like, the first, well, there's a lot of filler in the early stuff, in the early, you know, first couple episodes, but once you get to Namek and with the Ginyu and Frieza, oh man, it's so good. But yeah, and honestly, the Saiyan saga is really good too. Totally forgot about that. After Vegeta and Nappa land, gets real. But yeah, I love Dragon Ball Z. I think I'm not a huge anime fan, but Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball, even Dragon Ball Super, huge fan of that stuff. And then today, actually, because they only had season 1 through 3, but I saw a spot for season 4 through 6. So I went back today, and they actually had season 4 through 6. So these were like $35, I believe. And this one is the Garlic Jr., Trunks, and Android sagas, Imperfect Cell and Perfect Cell sagas, and then the Cell Game sagas. Which, man, that Garlic Jr. saga is rough. That's a rough way to start the second box set there. But yeah, I thought that was a really awesome pickup there too. And then surprisingly, they actually had season 7, 8, and 9 there as well. Which has the Great Saiyaman and World Tournament sagas, Babidi and Majin Buu sagas, and Fusion and Kid Buu sagas. Which I haven't watched the last like 2 seasons in like over a decade, so I'm actually curious to run through the series and go through the Majin Buu stuff again, because I don't really remember it all that much. But yeah, that's a lot of anime talk. I think that's enough for a couple years. But yeah, do you guys like Dragon Ball Z? Been a huge fan. Loved it. Used to watch it. They put 2 episodes on at night when I was a kid at like 11 p.m. on Cartoon Network, and I would watch it all the time. So now let's get into the latest Kino sale. I went pretty hard on this Kino sale. Kino probably has the best sales out there. If I was going to say who has the best sales, I'd probably say Kino. Most of their titles are like $10, and you really can't beat it. So again, I was trying to pick up a lot of these redemption titles. So we got Renato Paulselli's Black Magic Rights, which I think I might have seen this before. We may have actually reviewed this on the podcast, but yeah, I love this redemption line here from Kino. I don't own a lot of them. In fact, most of the time they've never added them to the sales. Only recently have they been adding them to the sales, and so I've been grabbing them as I see them, but that's really awesome. So Black Magic Rights there. Then we have Just Before Dawn. This was a Code Red one. I've actually never seen this slasher, but I've heard good things about it. I've always wanted to check it out. It actually has somebody from Sleepaway Camp in it, which I didn't know. That's pretty cool. But yeah, this is an original uncut version here. Can't wait to check this out. I've always wanted to see that movie. I've heard about it. Always wanted to see it. Then we have The Last Man on Earth. This is, of course, the 1964 Vincent Price classic. I've been really into older movies lately. Actually, I just finished up this box set here from Scream Factory, the Universal Classic Horror Collection, which has a bunch of Bela Lugosi Karloff films. And my watch history of like classic horror is very, very limited. From pretty much 60s and under, I don't have like a ton of knowledge, except for like the Universal Monsters. I've seen pretty much all those multiple times. So I've lately been trying to get a lot more classic cinema. Last Man on Earth, I've actually never seen this, but I do know a lot about it. Very, very interested in checking that one out. Then we have Burn, Witch, Burn, which is a 1962 film. Of course, you got a lot of like witchcraft stuff back in the day in the 60s and stuff like that, and even into the early 70s there was still a lot of witchcraft stuff. So pretty curious on this one. Looks pretty awesome. Then we have another Code Red one here from that Kino sale. Blue Monkey. I've never seen this, but it looks absolutely nuts. I remember when this got announced, like people were kind of like, what the hell? Blue Monkey's finally on Blu-ray, so figured that was a pretty cool title to pick up. Directed by William Freud. This is a pretty awesome one. Here we got The 9 Lives of Fritz the Cat. So I remember as a young lad flipping through the channels late one night on like HBO or like Showtime or something. They had Fritz the Cat, and I watched it and I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. You know, there's nudity. I didn't really get like a lot of the like racial stuff that's in there. As a kid, I was really young, but growing up, revisiting it, I think it's like an awesome movie. Just adult animation, different time period, super 70s, it feels like it. So the sequel I've seen one time, but I really don't remember it. This is the sequel. I don't have the first one, but recently Kino put out the first one, I believe, Kino Scorpion. So I'm going to have to grab that first one. They only had the second one on sale, but I will grab that first one. If it's not in the next sale, then I'll just pick it up. But yeah, classic adult animation. If you've never seen it, it's pretty crazy. After that, we have the Hunchback of Notre Dame, and or Notre Dame. Not sure which version's correct. This is the 23 film, the silent film, of course, starring Lon Chaney Sr. And yeah, this is one that I have seen before, but it's been a really, really long time. Very curious to check out the Blu-ray. Again, I wanted to pick up some more classic cinema. My silent era cinema is like very limited, so that's another one that I am pretty happy with. I was happy to see that was on sale. And then we have, I think I have seen this one before, 1963's The Raven, the Vincent Price, Boris Karloff version. I recently just watched the other version, The Raven, and yeah. So one thing I really like about Kino is a lot of their titles have these film historian commentaries on them. I really like that. I think it's my favorite type of commentaries are ones that are very informative, and these film historians just know so much about these films and really make you love to hear that, to listen to them. Unfortunately, I don't get a lot of time to get into the commentaries as much as I wish I did. Actually, this one also has Jack Nicholson in it, as well as it's Roger Corman produced. Interestingly enough, though, it doesn't have Jack Nicholson on the cover because I guess he wasn't famous yet. So that's pretty cool. It's kind of interesting. Like, you forget how long Jack Nicholson's career has been going. It's kind of insane, right? After that, we have this random one. I don't know anything about this. This 1959 Curse of the Undead. I see horses. I see a carriage. I see an undead, maybe. But yeah, never seen that. Never. I don't think I've even heard of that. Then we have Link, 1986. This is a fun one. Killer monkey type thing. Really solid movie. A little long in the tooth, but I enjoyed it. I've seen it before. Wanted to pick it up for a while now. After that, we have another older film, 1939. We have The Cat and the Canary. So again, sticking with that theme of picking up some older cinema. Very happy to do so. And I think like these are perfect for next year's like 31 Days of Horror. Maybe start off with like older cinema, like the first like 10 days or so, and then sort of branch up into the other stuff. I think that would be fun. And then we have the Mario Bava collection, The Whip and the Body. I recently watched this one. Pretty good movie, 1963. Pretty cool stuff there. Mario Bava, of course, one of the greatest horror filmmakers of all time. Italian horror filmmaker. Has a lot of influence in the genre. Then we have the Kino classics here. Bela Lugosi's The Devil Bat. This one is from 1940. Never seen it. I always wonder, like, how does Kino decide, like, how to like sub-label their stuff? Like, this is in the Mario Bava collection, but why is it not in the Redemption collection? Because other Mario Bava stuff is in the Redemption collection. This one is a Kino classic, but why is this one not a Kino classic? Who knows, right? We don't know. Or wait, is this considered a Kino classic? Kino Studio Classic, Kino Classic. What's the difference? I don't really get it. Maybe when it was released? I'm not sure. I've always kind of wondered that, because you see some of these that have like the Kino Classics label. It's like a little different, but who knows? Who knows? If you know, let me know. This one, definitely not a older film, but I guess 1993 is getting pretty old at this point. It's almost 30 years. We have The Good Son, Macaulay Culkin. Great movie. Also, not on the cover here, not star billing, is a very young Elijah Wood. This is a movie that I grew up watching. I remember seeing it on TV all the time. Macaulay Culkin's a little bastard, and it's a good movie. I've been wanting to revisit that one. That's a pretty fun movie. Another older film, 1946. We have The Spiral Staircase. Yeah, this one looks pretty cool, man. I've never seen this one, but glad to finally own it. Man, I picked up a ton of classic horror. We have And Soon the Darkness. I've recently watched this one because I watched it for 1970. We did top 10 of 1970. Did this make my... I think this actually may have made my top 10. If not, it was pretty close. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. I believe it's French or something. I can't remember, but kind of a downer type of movie. Different. It's different, or is it British? I don't even know. But check it out if you never have. Also, wait, this is actually 1983. Why did I think this was 1970? Is there another film with a similar title? Anyway, we got House of Long Shadows here from 1983. Yeah, so we got Christopher Lee, Vincent Price, and Peter Cushing. I mean, that's the dream team right there. So, yeah, House of Long Shadows. Or am I thinking of House of Dark Shadows? Is that what the 1970 movie is? After that, I'm actually shocked to say that I've never seen this all the way through. I have seen, like, a lot of it, but never have I watched this film all the way through. It's considered a classic, probably one of the best horror films ever, and it is officially 100 years old, and that is Nosferatu. Nosferatu. Yeah, man. There's some talks about Robert Eggers remaking this. I think if there's anybody that could do it, it would be Robert Eggers. He just has like a great style. Recently watched The Northman, did a really good job with that. So I would be happy with that. After that, we have a redemption title here, The Man Who Lies. I don't know anything about this one. Not sure. 1968, I believe. 1968. Yeah, French film. And then we have tons of Jess Franco in the redemption collection here. We have The Diabolical Dr. Z. Don't know anything about this one. 1966. Jess Franco. More Jess Franco here. We got Neurosis, Revenge in the House of Usher. This one is from 1985. So we got Neurosis here. Then we have another redemption. We have The Orchard and Murder. A Macabre Tale of Murder and Mischief. A film by Christian Marnham. And this one is from 1981. I've never seen it. This is number 55 on the spine, right after the Diabolical Dr. Z. Number 26 on the spine for redemption. We have. Sorry guys, I haven't even been paying attention if I've actually been showing the title to the camera. My apologies if I missed any. Pete Walker, Die Screaming Marianne. I actually thought I owned this, but I guess I didn't because I couldn't find it. So yeah, that's another redemption title. And then I believe this was it for that last Kino sale, the most recent one. And that is Devil's Kiss, which is a film from the year 1976, which I may have watched that when we did the 1976 top 10. Okay. We still have like a ton of stuff to get to, so let's go. Let's continue on. This one, I grabbed a couple Scream Factory. Actually, I own this already. Forgot to mention that. Dracula. This is the 1979 version. I actually bought this during a Scream Factory sale and bought another copy. So I'm gonna actually, I have an idea who I'm giving that to. I'm gonna give that to somebody. But yeah, not sure why I even showed it. I meant to take that out. Then we got Let's Scare Jessica to Death. Picked this up during a Scream Factory sale. I've always wanted to see this movie. I've heard of it. I know a little bit about it, but I've never actually seen it. 1971. Pretty cool title. Let's Scare Jessica to Death. After that, we have this one. I won from Dave Z during a bet for the NFL. We have A Stranger Is Watching. Of course, this was from the infamous Twisted Terror collection box set that Warner Brother released way back in the day. It was like one of the coolest box sets for super cheap. A bunch of weird movies in there, different kind of unrelated films. But I believe all the films in there now have been released. A Stranger Is Watching. I haven't seen this since I bought that box set, but yeah, 1982. Really, is that 1982? I don't remember watching this for the 1982 show. That's interesting. Okay, a couple here from Full Moon. There's more Scream Factory too, but everything's kind of separated. So Full Moon Entertainment does this thing where if you subscribe to their what do you call it, streaming service, you could get the Puppet Master box set on all the Blu-rays of the Puppet Master box set. But I already had that. So they offer a different thing where you get 10 of Blu-rays of your choice for a year subscription, which is like $50. So it works out as a deal. Now, I thought you were able to pick like any 10, but they do have a limited selection of titles you could pick from. I didn't like that. I felt like it was a bit misleading. Just let us pick whatever 10 we want, you know what I mean? And to add insult to injury, I picked my 10, and they actually shorted me one because it was out of stock and then never replaced it, or offered to send me anything else. It was just, you lose one. So I thought that was a little bit unfortunate. It still worked out with a deal, though. So anyway, we have Sorority Babes in the Slime Ball-orama. Pretty fun movie. I've only seen it once. David Ducado, director of Puppet Master 3. Of course, also, I believe Linnea Quigley is in here. But yeah, this is a fun movie. Pretty good. I mean, this is like great full moon considering like some of the later stuff. Shrunken Heads. This one I recently watched for 1994, and I actually had a lot of fun with this film. It is much better than you would ever expect. So yeah, that one was a fun one. So I picked it up after watching it. Pet Shop, 1994. This movie's pretty bad. Also 1994. This is like more of like a kids movie, but it's honestly kind of bad. It's not a good movie. Hideous. I've seen this one before. Pretty fun full moon flick. Had it on DVD. Picked it up back in the day. Nothing amazing, but I enjoy it. Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys. I'm not really sure what's up with Doll Man vs. Demonic Toys. I know Demonic Toys 2 is horrible. Demonic Toys 1 is great. And Doll Man's pretty great. So who knows? Will this be any good? Probably not. But I figured I'd pick it up. I also tried to pick up Demonic Toys, but that was the one that was out of stock that they shorted me on. That's not 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. That's only 4. 5. So I think I have more somewhere, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Anyway, let's move on here. We have Surf Nazis Must Die from Trauma. Honestly, I really don't care for this film that much. The cover's great. The title's great. It's just not really that good of a movie. It's kind of boring. So, one of the more infamous, like well-known Trauma titles, but it's just kind of a boring movie. It's really not that interesting. So, yeah. Burnt Offerings. This was actually part of a Kino sale that I'll get to in a little bit somehow. A lot of stuff's out of order now. The first stuff was a little more in order, but Burnt Offerings, great movie. Fantastic film from 1976. Great horror flick. Oh, okay. Here's some more full moon stuff. We have Crepazoids. This is another one by David Ducado. Never seen it, but I needed to pick 10, and like I said, I couldn't pick anything, so I eventually like sort of filled in the blanks with some ones I was kind of interested in, and this is one of them. So Crepazoids. Blade Iron Cross. I don't really care for this movie that much, but I have all the other Puppet Master movies, so I figured I might as well. This was part of the Deadly 10, which was honestly a pretty interesting idea, and I did follow along with it a little bit. So Full Moon was like, hey, we're going to make 10 movies. These are the movies. It was like Blade, Iron Cross was like the big one. Subspecies 5 was another big one. Ouija's, and then like a couple other sequels, and then Bride of the Head of the Family was one, and then like a bunch of other random movies that were like new, like not part of other IPs. And their idea was like, we're going to live stream us making these movies, and it's going to be like this long process. And they did about